Sorry?
The digital recorder's doing some strange stuff. Bloody hell. From the life out of me, was that you?
I don't know what. So this is where you held a young boy up against the wall, off the floor.
If you've got a point to make, then you be a man and you tell us.
Did you hear a voice?
Yes, it wasn't me.
You heard the voice?
Yes.
It didn't come through on the spirit box. It wasn't on the spirit box.
No. I heard a voice as well, but it wasn't me.
The 3 soldiers that lost their lives back in 1867.
Try not to be angry.
Do something if you want us to leave now. Do it now.
Yes, sir. Yes. Living poison. Manufactured record. Yes, sir. Go. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Here we go. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Here we go. It's like a light is in my face, but I can't fall for you. I close my eyes and drift away. I've overdosed on you. Cause then you wake up dead one day.
Linked to the drop battery is the red drop readout. It is one of 2 faults on the Western Heights, and it is linked by a series of dry motes. It is the most impressive and most noticeable feature in Dover. The artillery at the readout faced mostly inland. It was intended to attack an invading force attempting to capture Dover from the northeast. The construction of the fort was in 2 periods, the first being from 1804 to 1808 during the Napoleonic Wars. The second was from 1859 to 1864 following the Recommendations 1859 Royal Commission. The original form of the redoubt was a simple pentagon formed by cutting trenches into the hillside, making the fort a solid island with barracks, magazine and artillery on top. Originally, it would have accommodated 200 troops, but by 1893 the number had been reduced to just 90 officers. A striking feature of the first period is the soldiers' quarters. 5 bomb-proof brick vaulted casemates. These are parabolic in cross-section and covered in a thick layer of earth to withstand the effects of mortar bombs. The rise of Napoleon III during the 1850s caused a further invasion scare, and a royal commission was set up in 1859 to assess the defences of Britain, and as a result more work was deemed necessary at the Western Heights and the drop redoubt had its defences improved. By 1902 the heavy guns had been removed and the fort became the residence of the infantry bands attached to the battalion at the Grand Shaft Barracks. During World War I it housed searchlights operated by the Dover Anti-Aircraft Corps, and in November 1917 a German U-boat crew were held prisoner here. In World War II, the fort became a lookout post where the long-range shelling of Dover from France was plotted. In April 1942, it housed 100 commandos and 60 Canadian infantry. By 1945, the site was abandoned permanently. Whilst we were filming our intro shots of the fort, we capture on film which seems to be a figure walking on the outer wall.
So, as we were doing our intro shots for this investigation, I was taking a shot up here, and up on that wall I saw a figure walk, and to me it looked like a soldier, and it was directly up there.
Phil and I go towards where I saw the figure, but it has vanished into thin air.
Okay, so we've just made our way up to this wall here behind me where we filmed, which looked like a figure of a soldier which was walking along the top of this wall here.
The outer wall which surrounds the fort has no access and is around 50 to 60 feet high. Have we just captured a full-bodied apparition in broad daylight? The haunted drop battery, which is the focus of our investigation, is situated just yards away. Phil and I make our way through the woodland towards the location. On the 23rd of July 1867, the Sultan of Turkey came to England to meet with the Queen. After his visit, the Sultan then made his way from London with his entourage by train to Dover, where he would sail to France. The drop battery soldiers were ready to salute the Sultan on his departure with their experimental guns. The order was given to fire, but 3 artillery officers were standing in front of the guns, one being Andrew McDowell, who lost an arm and other body parts as he was blown into the town below. The 2 other officers were taken to the nearby military hospital and were so disfigured that they did not survive their injuries. Andrew McDowell's grave can still be found in the nearby St James's Cemetery and reads, "By the officers and non-con officers, gunners and trumpeters, Number 1 Battery, 2nd Brigade, to the memory of Gunner Andrew McDowell of the above battery, who was killed by accident in the drop battery." Just recently, 2 teenagers were inside the drop battery, and one was attacked by an unseen force by being held off the floor up against a wall. It has been stated that the 2 teenagers were being disrespectful when they were inside the battery. Was this the spirit of Andrew McDowell, or one of the 2 other officers that were accidentally killed? Or maybe something dark has taken up residence inside the battery.
Okay, so behind me is the entrance to the drop battery where Andrew McDowell and 2 others were involved in that fatal accident, and it is said that Andrew's spirit is here inside the battery behind us.
We start to set up our static cams to prepare for the investigation when I hear the sound of breathing next to me within the main tunnel.
I heard someone sort of go
we have our static cams in place and our investigation starts at the drop battery.
Did I just hear you? Can you make that noise again, please? My name is Jeff. And my colleague here, my friend Phil, he's holding the camera. We've come here today to speak to any of the spirits of the soldiers that were stationed here. And also the 3 soldiers that lost their lives back in 1867 when I believe the Sultan of Turkey was departing, and there were some experimental guns just outside, and these 3 soldiers were killed by mistake because someone shouted out fire and didn't realise they were standing in front of the guns. The guns were fired. 2 of them were seriously injured and taken to hospital, and the other soldier lost parts of his body and blown down into the town below. Now his name is Andrew McDowell. Now Andrew, if you can hear me, or any of the other spirits, can you please speak into this red light on this device I'm holding in my hand? None of the equipment that we have here will hurt you. It's just to help us hear you and see you. So they're just cameras which record film, and these little devices will pick up your voice. So if you are here, can you speak into this red light, please? Now, in this room looks like a magazine room of some sort. But something happened not too long ago. There were 2 young boys in here. Now, maybe they were a little bit disrespectful, as young kids are, but one of them was attacked. Now, he was held up against this wall and lifted up off the floor because his friend that heard him shouting and screaming come running to the doorway over there and saw him actually off the floor. Who was that? Are you one of the soldiers here?
All was quiet and no evidence had been caught so far, so we made our way further inside the battery.
Bloody hell. From the life out of me, was that you?
I don't know what happened.
Are you alright?
I don't know what that was, Phil.
It was between you and me.
A loud noise is heard between Phil and I, which sounds as if something is being thrown.
Bloody hell. From the life out of me, was that you?
I don't know what happened.
Are you alright? Bloody hell. From the life out of me, was that you?
I don't know what happened.
Are you alright? You alright? Oh, my digital recorder just died.
Sorry?
The digital recorder's doing some strange stuff. It was flashing orange and then died.
Has it completely turned off?
Completely turned off. That's never happened, ever. And that was with new batteries in.
Something or someone starts to affect our equipment and the digital recorder stops working. And as this happens, there is a flash of light next to Phil. We replace our batteries to the digital recorder and still it malfunctions, so we fire up another recorder and restart the investigation.
Do you not want me to be in here? Am I somewhere where I shouldn't be? We're not here to offend you. We're not here to cause you any harm. So talk to us. If you're not happy, then tell us.
"54 minutes has just gone down to 40, 37, 31, 29, 27, 26. Battery's draining.
Yeah, so what happened to this?
It's now stuck on 26.
Are you drawing energy from our devices? Why do you need that energy? Are you intending to harm us? That's not happening. If you've got a point to make, then you be a man and you tell us.
I could hear something behind me. I could hear some movement.
I hear movement coming from behind me, which sounds as if someone is moving around. Here is the audio enhanced.
If you've got a point to make, then you be a man and you tell us. If you've got a point to make, then you be a man and you tell us. Is there more than one of you here?
Camera dead.
Yeah.
Keep rolling. Completely died.
Yeah. Just drained the battery. Because that had, what, 50 odd minutes on it? We've been filming for, what, 10?
And the last time I looked, we was down to 25 minutes. Because I just looked at the screen and now it's completely dead.
We replace all of our batteries again and return to the same area.
So you've been draining our devices, our digital audio, our cameras. Do you not want us to come inside that room?
An EVP is now being captured on my digital recorder saying, "We're dead here." Here is the audio enhanced.
Do you not want us to come inside that room? Do you not want us to come inside that room?
I place several items of equipment inside the magazine room. 2 REM pods, a temperature alarm and a sensitive digital recorder. And as I walk back down the main tunnel, I hear the sound of breathing again, but this time it is captured on our static night vision camera that is facing that area.
Who's here? Are you a soldier? Who are you? Who was it that attacked the young boy here inside this room? What'd you say?
Wasn't me.
Huh?
It wasn't me that said anything.
Did you hear a voice?
Yes, it wasn't me.
You heard the voice?
Yes.
It didn't come through on the spirit box. It wasn't
No.
on the spirit box.
No. I heard a voice as well, but it wasn't me.
As we enter the magazine room, we both hear a disembodied voice, but because of the white noise being generated by the spirit box, we are unable to hear what is being said.
Do you want us to leave? Do something if you want us to leave now. Do it now. So this is where you held a young boy up against the wall off the floor. Can you pick me up? Pick me up. Perhaps I've got it all wrong. Perhaps what you've done was intentional. That you meant to scare them. Can you scare us? Do something else. We know you can do that.
The sensitive digital recorder that is next to the REM pod that is being activated is picking up an amazing EVP. A voice saying, "I'm Andrew," giving us confirmation that Gunner Andrew McDowell is indeed here inside the battery. Here is the enhanced audio.
Okay, just going to wander down this very slim, thin corridor behind the magazine room. Not 100% sure what it is for, but it might just have been purely there just to protect against blast or something like that, should there be an issue. Anyway, I'll wander down. It's very cramped in here. It's quite strange because, as I say, it's a very long, thin corridor, but it has a window which I can look through here into the magazine. Can you tell me what this was used for, this particular bit here? I would imagine it would have actually been quite a fun place to hide when your fellow soldiers came along jumping out on them. I bet that's happened on more than one occasion.
Another EVP is received answering Phil's question, saying they didn't feel like that. Here is the enhanced audio taken from Phil's digital recorder.
When your fellow soldiers came along jumping out on them, I bet that's happened on more than one occasion. When your fellow soldiers came along jumping out on them, I bet that's happened on more than one occasion. Now, I thought I heard a knock just then, Jeff, from behind me. Did you just knock? Now, I thought I heard a knock just then, Jeff. Now, I thought I heard a knock just then, Jeff. Then we'll walk down into the magazine, Jeff, yeah. This is, well, it's coming to, as I was about to say, we're coming towards the end of our investigation here. Now, what we find when we do this sort of thing is sometimes spirits, whatever you like to call them, will take this opportunity to actually give us a message which we can pass on. Now, the person we came initially to talk to was Andrew, or perhaps one of his colleagues, one of his fellow men who sadly lost their lives when there was an awful accident just outside of here. So for a final time, if you're one of those men, tell us your names, or your name. Tell us what happened. I can understand why you'd be angry. You're angry, are you? I'd be angry as well if there was an accident like that. Was it an accident? Was it somebody being very careless, for want of a better phrase? Somebody doing something they shouldn't have done that caused your deaths? Well, whoever you are, try not to be angry.
Did you just hear a voice before that went off?
Yeah.
Sounded like a young man's voice.
Yeah.
Did you hear that?
Yeah, I did. Try not to be angry. Try not to be angry. And if you have been telling us to go away, then my apologies for ignoring you. It's just that we haven't heard you. But if you have left a message, or you need help, and we find that's what you've told us, then we will come back. So you need to be very specific. You need to say, go away, or come back. Well, whoever's here, we thank you for your time, and we hope that our intrusion hasn't upset you.
The drop battery fell silent and no more evidence was captured. Gunner Andrew McDowell still stays within the battery, and maybe the other officers that were killed by accident on the 23rd of July 1867.